Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at the co-feature at Saratoga on Friday. It's the Grade 3 Troy. Some nice turf sprinters going 5.5 on the Mellon Turf course. Let's take a peek at this field. It features the return of the number 5 Golden Pal, who's 1-2 and 1-2 for a reason. He is a brilliant turf sprinter, 6 for 6 on turf in North America. His only 3 defeats came when he's made international excursions.
Yeah, he's just a super, super tough turf sprinter over here. Not only undefeated in North America sprinting on turf, Dan, but 2 for 2 at Saratoga, 2 Breeders' Cup wins, 2 really, really fast races in his last 2 stateside starts, and he's big speed from the gate. He's going to take a ton of beating in here.
Now, he's one of the more talented sprinters, regardless of surface, in the entire country. You mentioned his speed. Timeform US believes he is the speed of the Troy as we throw up the pace projector. Golden Pal has speed. Carotari is a really quick horse in his own right. I'm not sure he has Golden Pal speed, but he's a rock-solid veteran.
Yeah, he's a really nice horse, and he does like to be, part of the pace in his races. He's not as fast as Golden Pal early, and it feels like it kind of puts him in a really, really tough situation here, but he's a nice horse.
The tactical speed from the 1 Spycraft might help him work out a good trip in this race, as he did last time out at Canterbury. He's won his last 2 starts on the turf for trainer Joe Sharp. Let's watch his last race. This is the Dark Star turf at Canterbury, and he sat right in behind the speed. He gets to the outside. He goes by. It's a likable performance, and his tactical speed allows him to get such good trips.
Yeah, true enough. He runs fine in here. You can see there's not a ton of closing going on, but he is going to run by this early leader late, and he's going to win this race pretty comfortably at the end. As you mentioned, 2 for 2 for Joe Sharp. Dan, he's 4 for 5 sprinting on turf in his career. There's just a lot to like about him. He obviously has to improve to beat this field. It's also worth noting, though, that he's a pretty good dirt horse, too. There's no main track onlys in here. If this race comes off the turf, he's going to be pretty tough.
We are expecting a little bit of wet weather at Saratoga on Friday. If it does stay on the turf, it could help the 2 Yes, 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 who's very versatile, whether it is firm or yielding. This horse won 3 races in a row at longer sprint distances at Belmont. They tried him 2 turns in the Forbidden Apple. He showed good speed. He was likely overmatched against those horses at a distance a bit too far. The question is 5.5 a little bit short for him?
Yeah, I wonder about that too. Certainly, he's really, really good to 6, so maybe he can just handle this 5.5. Now you'll note that he's 0 for 5 at Saratoga in his career. Most of those sprint races, and the last one was in a Grade 3, going a mile, where he just really had no chance. But the sprint races here at Saratoga are back when he wasn't quite as good then. He was a claiming horse at that time. David Donk has taken over his training and gotten this horse really, really good this year. Those 3 wins to kick off this 2022 campaign, this horse ran excellent in all of those starts.
The number 3 Arzak comes in raging form for trainer Mike Trombetta. He won 2 races on synthetic, both stakes, including the Jacques Cartier 2 starts back at Woodbine. But he is a pretty good turf horse in his own right, despite only a 1 for 7 lifetime record. He ran well in the Highlander last time out. Let's watch that race. There was a fast pace. Arzak didn't break well. He made a big mid-race move on the outside, about a 4-wide sweeping bid to get into contention. He's going to make the top, and he's going to get run down by a very talented Wesley Ward runner and Bound for Nowhere. This was a nice effort.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought he ran really well in here. As you mentioned, breaking a little bit slowly from the gate didn't help him. And then he made the early move. He actually ran right past Bound for Nowhere around the turn, took this race over, couldn't hold that horse off at the end. All in all, though, another really good performance for a horse who's in great form right now.
Carotari's banked over $600,000 in his career. The number 4 reunites with Louis Saez, who was aboard for the last 2 wins, both stakes races, including one at Pimlico on Preakness Day, where he was able to get a nice lead against a field that he had over a barrel despite the layoff. Last time out in the select, he got hooked up in a speed duel. It didn't work out for him. The horse that closed him down, Sharp, he came back to run second in the Wolf Hill with a 94 buyer. But he does like to be close to the pace, and chasing Golden Pal early may not be a recipe for success.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's really tough when he can make the lead. He couldn't make the lead last time. That was a really fast pace. And obviously this horse sort of paid the price a little bit. Probably can't make the lead here unless something goes wrong with Golden Pal. And that just sort of works against this horse, who overall is really good. He ran great in this race last year.
And here's the horse we're all coming to see, the number 5 Golden Pal, 1-2 on the morning line. Did not have an easy trip in the King's Stand. It's tough to go all the way over there, have a speed horse not break, then get rushed up into the teeth of a hot pace, facing some really tough competition. I'm not going to hold that race against him. The 110 buyer in the Shakertown 2-back kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah, he was just thoroughly dominant at Keeneland 2-back, dominant at the Breeders' Cup before that. It was just very, it was almost shocking to see him go over to Royal Ascot there and totally blow the start of that race, because this horse is, so far anyway, stateside, he's been super fast from the gate. He's never had any issues with it. If he breaks well here, he's going right to the top. He's going to be very, very tough to catch.
Quick workouts as usual leading up to this race at Saratoga for Wesley Ward, who has just marveled at this horse's speed throughout his career. The Graham Motion deserves a ton of credit for the job he's done with the 6 True Valor. This is a horse who always was talented out in Southern California earlier in his career, but he suffered a very serious injury that cost him over a year. Graham didn't think he could even get him back to the races. The owner was patient enough to let him try, and heck, 2 starts, 1 win in the King T Leatherberry off the layoff at this distance, and then this effort in the Grade 1 Jaipur, second start off of a long layoff. We watched True Valor take this Grade 1 field into the stretch. The pace was moderate. I mean, you know, the horse to beat, Oresme Red, was right up close, but True Valor digs in gamely to finish third, and he finishes ahead of 3 next out winners.
Yeah, he ran well in here. I like that this horse has managed to cut back successfully in distance in his recent starts. He was okay going, up to a mile early on. He's just as good sprinting, it seems like. Obviously, they're not going to ride him the way they've ridden him in his first 2 starts back this year, where they just sort of put him up on the pace. They can't do that here. They're going to have to try to do it from off the pace. But he's been successful with that running style in the past.
That's really the key for him, isn't it? Because it looks like off the layoff, that's his newfound style. He's found his niche as a speed horse on the turf. He can't make the lead against this group, but he has won from off of it in the past. And maybe he could sort of track in the second flight and hope that Carotari softens up Golden Pal a little bit. Thin White Duke's taking a big step up in class. He ran well last time out at Saratoga. This was 8 days ago in the first level allowance race under Johnny Velasquez. In this race, Jose Ortiz will be aboard in the Troy. And Thin White Duke's down towards the inside. Things are going to work out for him, and he'll run a solid second.
Yeah, he runs well in here. He's only second best. That's a good winner coming from last to first down the outside, just overpowering this field. Thin White Duke got the right kind of trip in this race, and he runs fine. He's only second best in here. He's a little bit underrated. This is a pretty tough spot for him, though.
Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRFTV video previews. Let's take a look at our top selections for the Troy. Golden Pal is way the horse to beat. He's the horse to catch, and he's the most likely winner on paper. I'm a big fan of True Valor. If Golden Pal for some reason stubs his toe, he's coming back off the European vacation. He might have to deal with Carotari early. I respect True Valor's class, but boy, Golden Pal's the horse to beat.
Yeah, I didn't want to try to beat him. I think he's too good for these horses, Dan. I had a big excuse there at Royal Ascot the last time we saw him. I just didn't really try to. I just didn't really want to have any money in against this horse.
Yeah, the Royal Ascot race for Golden Pal. He didn't break very well. Then he rushed up to make the early lead, and that kind of worked against him. 5-2-3-6 for Mike, 6-3-5-4 for me. It is the Troy, the Grade 3 Troy at Saratoga on Friday. Good luck.